I've always loved painting, and I always wanted to do something with painting as a profession, but I kind of very quickly realized that fine art wasn't going to be very good, because either you make it or you don't. And I thought having a trade is great. And also just being in the theatre environment is a lot of fun because you're working together.
Well, at the moment we're working on a show called As You Like It for the Embassy Theatre, which is our in-house theatre. Basically, behind me you can see construction cladding sterling board, which is like chipboard but bigger, onto frames, which basically the flats that we're going to use for the production.
I think we're given a lot of freedom here. You basically get given the design from the designer, and we've been given a certain amount of time to make this 25 times the size or 10 times the size, depending on where the theatre is. And you're giving a lot of freedom as outside designers, and you have to make their thing reality, really. And it's quite tricky to make something this big into something that big.
I think scenic art is a complex subject. It's different from fine art in that you have to be able to paint in a lot of different styles. You have to be able to paint from small scale, very detailed. It might be a studio show where somebody's sitting right in front of what you painted, so it has to look real, or something you see from a huge distance. So the standard we want them to get to is very high.
It's creating an environment on stage for the actors to live in, so whether it be a beach or a forest or a lavish ballroom, it could be anything. So you need to create that environment and make it look as the designer wishes.
It's quite difficult to explain, really, but scenic art isn't like fine art, really, because it's more to do with creating surfaces and textures and colour that you would actually find in real life. So, for example, if you were going to create a stone-like texture, you'd actually have to use perhaps Artex or Addendum, which are materials that we often use as scenic artists to recreate that.
There's not many people on the course, which is great because that means you can have a lot of one-on-one time with the tutors, and it's not only the tutors on your course that you're close with, you're also close with people on the other craft strands, and everyone's so friendly. Everyone's there to help if you need them.
I mean, when I first got here, I was very intimidated by how good everybody else was on the course, and you really notice that it's a very fertile environment to keep working and to push yourself further, because you can see all the other amazing things that are going on. And especially, like, we just had the crafts exhibition, and you really get to see how amazing everybody is.
I love working with the students, they're great. And you know, I think as a tutor here, I'm learning from them all the time as well. They bring, we do a lot of experimentation down in the workshop, working with different materials, finding the properties, what works best with what, and we stumble across new things all the time. It's really great.
I'm inspired by scenic art, and I'm inspired by teaching because you never know, it's never finished. You're always learning something. New techniques come in, new materials come in scenic art, new designers come along. And in teaching, every year a student brings something different. So, I mean, it maybe sounds a bit corny to say it, but I think I get as much from them as hopefully they get from me. And that's why I love teaching.